Good evening, and welcome to the final edition of To Huber with Love, our ongoing look at the evolution of journalism. Today we are looking at today. In a recent interview with KCBS in San Francisco, Bill Keller, the executive editor of the New York Times, stated that he believes that print journalism will be around for the next 10 years. As print publications move to more digitized formats, many have found themselves with one foot stuck in the past while looking towards the future. Some journalists have embraced the new technologies, others have retired.
We went electronic, which makes it a lot easier to get at things, and it's interesting. It's kind of an analog to the whole electronic age. Because things are more accessible does not necessarily mean that people will avail themselves and become more informed. In fact, almost the opposite. The more things are available, the more people take for granted they can get in touch with them whenever they want to, and they make no inquiries about things they don't know about. Electronic retrieval is about knowing what you already know to find it, to find what you already know. This is searching to find out what you don't know. And this is a kind of research that is disappearing from newspapers and from everyday life. It is one of the downsides of the electronic age. So unfortunately, when everything is accessible, you're beleaguered, you're besieged, there's so much you can get. So you narrow in on what you want. And you forget that the greatest charm of a newspaper is what you don't know, not what you do know.
Even though new technologies allow for digital design, some old-school journalists still prefer a pen and paper to Dreamweaver or AutoCAD. The Albany Times-Union repeats this process daily at their budget meetings before going to computer design.
But what we have is a press that needs to be replaced.
In some cases, journalists are still using technology that's 500 years old.
There's nothing in the machine but hot water and a couple of scrub bags. We got away from chemicals years ago. These plates are very expensive because of that. Then it comes down into this area, it goes through, and it bends it so that this actually is part of tonight's press. This actually locks onto the press. Okay, you can see the bends here. That's all done in here. And that's what the image looks like. It's a raised image. We're a letterpress newspaper, which means our press is basically a big rubber stamp. A roller hits it with ink, and then it goes between a roller and the paper, and it presses it into the fibers. Okay. We're the largest letterpress newspaper left in America. Everybody's gone to offset, which is a better printing technology. This was invented by Gutenberg, the man who invented the printing press. We're still doing it today. How old is our press? Our presses are over 40 years old. They were bought brand new and put in this building in the 60s.
According to columnist and blogger Steve Barnes, the newsroom at the Times-Union has become considerably less populated in recent years, but circulation numbers show that the Times-Union has fared far better than many of its counterparts.
It's an evolution of the business. We have what I call too many banks on Main Street. If you look at the overall market, we have a very competitive number of dailies and Sunday titles that, in today's context, with the economies challenging our business as they are, and elusive audiences going, digital and running off to an audience of one, we will find ourselves much more collaborative as newspaper to newspaper than we will be competitive. We'll still have separation of and the independence for our news coverage and opinion pages and such. But when it comes to finding economies of scale and how we run the business side of these operations, we will save precious resources to apply back against the mission of our business.
Times-Union owner and great-grandson of William Randolph, George Hearst sees collaboration and digitization as the future of his newspaper. He depends on media and tech-savvy journalists such as Michael Huber to save the day as silicone replaces dead trees as society's media of choice.